Well, hello. So I thought I'd do a video that just went over my bullet journals that I was using and then how I am now transitioning to a traveler's planner. My first bullet journal was the Cleverfox planner, which I really enjoyed using as my first one. It already had everything laid out for me, my goals, my focus, mind map. I didn't really know how to use the mind map, but I put like quotes there and everything. I didn't fill it out all that much. Well, then it has your yearly reviews, your month view, and then next up will be the weeklies. And I just went to the back where it has some already. Well, I had blank ones for the following year. And if you're not sure if you want to get into bullet journaling, I recommend it. This one always had like a main goal and then like a reward if you got the goal. That didn't work out so well for me, but I like that it gave you a little list of priorities, some notes, to-do list. I actually just ended up doing the to-do list and notes all the same. There's 7 habits. I find that might be too many for some people. But something I did take and carry over to my bullet journal that I made was that wins and improvements for next year. The back of the Cleverfox planner has blank pages, which I just kind of used as entries and journaling and such. I found that it didn't have enough pages for what I needed, but it's a really good first bullet journal start if you even want to know if you can do this thing. The next one is one that is just gridlock paper. And so I did the typical bullet journal thing here at the beginning. I wrote out how many squares are each page, the index. I taped in an envelope. I gave an overview, and then I went into my vision page. And then I have my focused goals. My reading nook was probably my favorite one. And then that's my year overlook. I enjoyed this little layout and how it all turned out. So for 2021, I had to do my month layouts. So I would have a month layout, and there's tabs for each of the months. And then the next will be my weekly layout. And then I did a weekly layout with a journal right afterwards each time. Oh, I also have like my garden planner. This was our trip to Friday Harbor. I planned our garden, and I put little tabs on them to signify where that was. I tried doing a Dutch door. I did not like that. And then I found that the way I had set up the weeklies, then the journal page, wasn't working out so well. It was overwhelming. So what I would do is I would put a journal page in between 2 weeks and then use those as my journal pages instead. I found that more sustainable. And this is pretty much the layout I stuck with the whole time. I did not like Dutch door or changing it very much, and I ended up needing 2 last year in 2021 because I filled it up by September. And so I had planned on using this one for 2022 as well, but it didn't really it didn't turn out that way since I got impatient and decided to do a traveler's planner instead. But I still have my vision page, and I was going to write more focus goals. I was going to fill it in some more. And then those are the books I had read since October. I really liked my little artistic design here. I was kind of sad to not completely fill this out, but that's okay. I pick up random phrases throughout the year, so I had a page for that. And then here was the final year, and then the next year. Again, not artistic. If that is an excellent poem, I would recommend going and reading it. So I didn't change much in October, November. I did an Alice in Wonderland theme, which I found fun. I tried a new habit tracker and monthly highlights. Habit tracker I won't keep. Monthly highlights I think I will. For December, I did December dailies, and I just put them in the bullet journal because at this point I kind of just decided I was probably going to be switching and not doing just the one notebook any further. I did start setting up for January just in case, but this notebook will be here if I need to switch back because the traveler's journal doesn't work out. So I got an inexpensive one. Eventually, if I do stick with it, I plan on getting a traveler's company notebook. But for now, we'll just do, I think this one wasn't even $10. I would like to have a better quality little folder. This one's not the nicest material, but you know what? It's going to be functional right now, and I just need to see if this will work for me. So I have 4 inserts. The first one is what you would find at the beginning of my bullet journal. It's going to have my visions, my goals, high scores, you know, stuff that I've scored well at and what I've done well, my books that I read, and then the stories I write. And then I decided to do a little toadstool from Mario. These are going to be individual months, you know, January, February, March, April, with the important dates at the bottom. I have actually already have those decorated now, but when I recorded the video, I didn't. And then at the end of this book here, I'll use this for my garden planning, my gardening notes, household chores planning. If we go on any trips, that will be there too. The second insert is going to be my weeklies. I purchased this from Traveler's Company. You first run into the month, and I had already written dates in there of things we're doing, but you have you have to write the monthly dates and importance, and then you have your weeklies. You have to write the dates in, but it's already lined up what it's going to look like, which I really like. I don't have to spend as much time drawing lines. Basically, I can just highlight it. That's it. I will still use my habits, a priority list, my to-dos and notes, and my wins and improvements. I find that the wins and improvements are just very helpful. That way you can look back on your week if you didn't feel very successful and you still have to pick out something like, hey, no, you know what, I did this and I was consistent with this week. And next week I want to do this. Excuse me, or something better. My third insert is the journal itself. Now this way my journal entries and such do not get lost amongst all of the other things I am keeping track of and writing down. I was finding that very frustrating because I was losing little poems that I would write down or funny little quips that I would classify more as my journal versus my creative writing for my short stories, which brings us to the final insert. I drew this up just for fun. This is like my creative dump where I will just write my short story ideas. Or if I get a prompt or a little idea about a character, I'll put it in there. But that's the other half of the folder. I think this will work a little bit better for me because I will be able to keep each avenue of thought organized in its own little separate insert. In the bullet journal, I was losing all that information, and I wasn't really good at relying on the index to index where I wrote such random note, or on page 62 I wrote it on this notebook, and it wasn't practical and it wasn't working, and I was losing a lot of stuff. But the Traveler's Notebook is pretty decent sized, but it's small and it will travel nicely. See, that's how you have to do the 4 binding or the 4 inserts, which was kind of fun itself, even just putting those all in there together and figuring out which order I wanted them in. This little strap. I don't have a pin case or whatever. The one I do have, I'll see if I can find it. It didn't fit my pin, or one of the 2 usual pins I use, and I only usually use Pilot G2. That is a fine tip at 0.38, and then I love the Zebra Sarasa R pins at 0.4, but this pin didn't even fit, so it's kind of pointless. So I'm just attaching the pin to the little band and calling it fine for now until I can figure out something else that's like, maybe I'll have to stitch my own pin holder in. I don't know. And then I put on those little brass and little corner protectors. I also have a passport size that I'm going to use more for, it's going to be more creative. It has a watercolor insert and such like that. But that's my transition from the bullet journal into the Traveler's Planner. I've kept with the same theme that Cleverfox had. It works very well for me and it's functional. And like I said, I didn't like Dutch doors or trying to change it up too much. Alright, well, that was my transition from Cleverfox to a dot grid journal to now a new cult of the Traveler's journals. I hope you enjoyed this and found this a little bit helpful, like, subscribe, leave me a comment with any questions. And you take care and have a wonderful rest of your day.